Hey YouTube, Estacado 5000 here. What's up? Here's another retro deck profile from Shonen Jump Durham. It's called Machine Burn. Here we go. We got free UFO Turtle. What this card does is when this is destroyed in battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one fire machine type monster with 1500 or less attack. Oh, actually, one fire attribute monster with 1500 or less attack. So that means with this effect, you can special summon like Cyber Phoenix from the deck onto the field in attack mode. So it's pretty cool. 1400 attack. Pretty awesome. Then you got the free Cyber Phoenix. Protects all your machine type monsters from spell and trap effects that target it. And when this is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can draw one card. Then you got one Breaker of the Magical Warrior. It gets a spell counter placed on it when it's normal summoned and its attack increases by 300. Then you can remove the spell counter to destroy one spell or trap card on the field. Then you got one Sangin, one Morphin Jar, and then one Card Trooper. Now for the spell cards, you got free Wave Motion Cannon. During each of your standby phases, you place a counter on this card. And then you could send this card to the graveyard during your turn, and your opponent loses 1,000 life points for each counter on this card. So combined with cards like Swords Reveal Light, Limited Area B, Gravity Bind, and Messenger to the Peace, I think within 8 turns, if they stay on the field that long enough, you pretty much win the game, obviously. Then you got Swords Reveal Light, Messenger of Peace, and Limited Area B. So these are like your stall cards. So your Wave Motion Cannon builds up enough counters, and combined with cards like Ceasefire, you pretty much can win the game within a few turns as long as these don't get destroyed. Well, these two right here, they stay on the field a lot longer than Swords Reveal Light does. What this one does is this card prevents any monsters with 1500 or more attack from attacking, but you have to pay 100 life points during each of your standby phases to keep this card on the field, which is not that expensive. So you could pretty much have a long wait with this card, because this card, you don't have to pay 100 life points. And this card right here, this card switches all level 4 or higher monsters to defense position, and they can't switch into attack mode. So that's another good stall card in case you don't have this one out at the time. But the problem with this build is if any of these cards are destroyed and your opponent mounts enough offense to defeat you, you pretty much are screwed without these two cards on the field at the time. Then you got 2 Hammer Shot, 1 Smash and Ground. Get rid of your opponent's monsters. Hammer Shot destroys a monster on the field with the highest attack, and Smash and Ground destroys a monster on your opponent's field with the highest defense. Then 1 Different Dimension Capsule. You select 1 card from your deck, banish it, and then after 2 turns you activate this card. If this card still stays on the field at the time, you can bring that card back to your hand. Then you got 1 Scapegoat, 1 Mystical Space Typhoon to wrap up the spell cards. Now for the trap cards, you got free Skill Drain. This prevents cards like Mobius the Frost Monarch, Jinzo, Zaborg, Dakochi, Card Trooper from working. So basically, if you have like Limited Area B, Messenger, or Peace out, all you gotta do is flip this up. Your opponent can't destroy your spell traps with cards like Mobius the Frost Monarch. So it's pretty cool. Then you got free Dimension Wall. This card allows you, when you were to take battle damage against an opponent, like if your opponent attacks your monster and we're going to lose life points, you activate this, your opponent takes that damage instead of you when your monster's destroyed. So it's a pretty good card. Then you got free Solemn Judgment. This prevents cards like Heavy Storm from working, or Mirror Forces, Torrential Tribute, stuff like that. You can negate a lot of stuff with Solemn Judgment. Then Dark Bribe. Dark Bribe could also stop cards like Heavy Storm, Mystical Space Typhoon, or anything that disrupts your combos. But the only downside with Dark Bribe is your opponent is allowed to draw 1 card. Then you got 1 Ceasefire and 1 Magical Cylinder. Ceasefire allows you to inflict 500 life point damage to your opponent's life points for each effect monster on the field. Flip effects aren't activated at the time you activate this card, so this could disrupt your opponents like Magician of Faith, Morphin Jar, Dakochi, Gravekeeper Spy, and a lot of other good flip effect monsters during that format. Magic Cylinder allows you to negate one of your opponent's monster's attacks, and they lose life points equal to that monster's attack points, which is pretty awesome. Then you got 1 Mirror Force, 1 Torrential Tribute, then 1 Gravity Bind. This is another stall card. This prevents all monsters that are level 4 or above from attacking. That goes for both players, but with Wave Motion Cannon, this actually is pretty much a good card to buy sometimes until you get like 8 counters, and then your opponent will lose the duel. Then you got 1 Trap Dust Shoot to wrap up the trap cards. Now for the fusions, you got free Chimera Tech Over Dragon, free Cyber End Dragon, and free Cyber Twin Dragon. So that's the build. Hope you all enjoy. More videos coming soon. Later, guys. Comment and subscribe for more videos. Later, guys.